You are listening to the Maple Footy Podcast, the unofficial football podcast of the North. I'm your host, Sam Little. Find me on socials at SamLittle44 and the podcast at Maple Footy Pod. And now there's nothing left to say except for sit back, enjoy, and welcome to the show.
Hello, yes, welcome back to the Maple Footy Podcast. And if you read the title, you know exactly what is about to happen. That is right. We have on the show today, I introduced him as one of Forge's youngest players. I would like to correct that. He is Forge's youngest player in the squad currently. Very excited to have had him on. His name is Zayne Bruno, and I'm extremely grateful to have had him on. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I hope you enjoy this one. I had a lot of fun doing it, and yeah, let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to the Maple Footy Podcast. And it's an exciting one today because sitting with me today is one of Forge FC's youngest players. He made his Forge debut on match day 1 this season against reigning champs Cavalry. Prior to that, he came through the ranks of Sigma FC and most recently received a call up to the U18 national team to add to quite the impressive debut season. His name is Zayne Bruno. So, Zayne, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Excited to speak to you. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So let's start at the beginning for yourself. Um, Before you made your pro debut and everything, what really stuck out to you about soccer in Canada? We have so many different sports that you can play. Why was it soccer that really drew you in?
To be honest, it was more like my dad. My
Yeah.
dad like Chelsea, like the soccer team, so in England, so he was a big fan, and I think I was just kind of in the culture of like playing soccer, wanted to do what my dad was doing, watching the teams that my dad was doing, like watching.
Yeah.
And also like being like a community, my dad used to like help out coach like with the soccer team, so I was always there, always around. So I was just grew up around the game, so it was just natural for me to choose soccer to play. Obviously, I liked other sports, but for me,
Mhm.
it was really soccer is the only thing I played at like a competitive level, honestly.
Awesome. One, your dad seems like a great man. I'm a Chelsea fan as well, so.
Yeah, obviously.
But no, I think it's that, your community aspect, right, of the sport. I mean, the beautiful game and everything, and it's great that I think a lot of young people can relate to that of their dad or their mom, their parents collectively putting them into this sport and they fall in love with it as well, right?
Exactly.
And then at what point did you realize, okay, wait a minute, I think I'm quite good at this and I can really pursue this.
I think when I was like 13, I went to Sigma, and I think at 15 we went on a European tour,
Mhm.
and I think it was like the first time I had been to Europe, so I was kind of like not sure what to expect. And we played like Gang, we played PSV, but
Oh wow.
specifically PSV. We won that game 3-2, and I scored like 30 yards out. So it was like when you kind of realize like the level, like you're closer to the level than you think. So he was like
Yeah.
kind of gives you a push to keep going, and then it's a motivating factor because you want to go and play at that level, play in those countries, and play with those type of players and against those type of players all the time. So that was kind of a moment where I realized like, yeah, if I keep pushing, you could make it or make a career out of it.
That's awesome. I didn't know in the research, I didn't find that you went to play against PSV. That is really sick. Did you play against any other teams in Europe or
We
PSV?
we played PSV, we played Genk, we played Leuven, like that Borges was at,
Oh shoot.
Westerlo, and yeah.
Oh damn. That's pretty sick. All over Europe a little bit. That's pretty awesome. And what player would you say that you like to model your game after?
I think like my favorite player is Jude Bellingham, but
Okay.
like another player that like I like is like Ryan Gravenberch on Liverpool,
Yeah.
like Caicedo, kind of like more like defensive aggressive players.
Yeah.
Also like I think it's just adding all those different like factors into my game and trying to make it like my best version of Zayn and what that's going to be for me, whether it's right back, midfield, whatever it is.
That's awesome. And I like that you like the aggressive midfielders, especially because you just said about playing right back as you found yourself at right back a couple of times this season. So I think it really speaks to the type of profile that you're kind of building for yourself as well.
Yeah.
And a little bit about Sigma. How has it been kind of making the transition from Sigma to Forge?
It's been smooth. It's like it felt like a natural progression for me because like I was doing well at Sigma and the opportunity came from Coach Bobby to come and train here like at like 15, 16 years old. So
Yeah.
I started training here at a quite a young age. So for me it was a big step because it's different when you're playing against professionals, guys who've played here for years and had like 10, 5+ year careers. So you're just 16 years old playing against guys your age to making that step. So it was kind of a big step at first. So the first couple years I was training here, I think it was just getting my feet under me and trying to just acclimatize. But I think going from Sigma to here is it just sets you up perfectly because obviously Coach Bobby built something special at Sigma,
Mhm.
and our coaches now, Coach John and Coach Phil, they mold you to be ready to play at the next level, whether it's Forge, whether it's in college in America. So I think learning all the valuable things like how we play at Forge, very tactical, technical, those are all stuff that I was doing at Sigma from
Yeah.
my coaches and the information I was given, and now it's just at a higher level with Coach Bobby and more instructions and things like that.
That's amazing. And you yourself are a young Canadian player. And as you just touched upon, you've been training with Ford since you were 15, 16. Um, and the CPL has offered a great chance to develop for young Canadian players. So what's it like getting to kind of grow up and develop and as a player in your own backyard, essentially?
Honestly, it's pretty special because like when you're making things, for example, like your debut, a lot of people, if they're overseas, you can't make your debut in front of your whole family, and that was something I was able to do, which meant a lot for me.
Yeah.
Having my parents there, and they're the same people who've been there from 3, 4 to Sigma games when there was like no crowd really to
Yeah.
coming to go to my first professional game. So even the games I play after that with Sigma even this year in League One, they're still being there. So you have an opportunity to be at home, be close to your friends, close to your family while also doing what you love and hopefully having a platform to do well here and take it to the next level, wherever that is.
That's amazing. It's like that special like moment between you and your family, getting to see you literally go from, like you said, you know, the young 3-year old all the way up to the pros where at that game, the Calvary game, I think there was 7 to 8 thousand people there on opening day. So that's got to be just such a special experience for you and your family.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it was for me, and I think it was for them too. So it was special.
Amazing. And of course, being a midfielder as yourself, you play in a great midfield core with Forge guys like Becker, Borges, Jensen, Hajabrapor. The list kind of goes on. Do you find yourself just always improving and always taking in this information that they kind of have to offer, and you get to just kind of build on that?
I think honestly, it's all like it's all you could really do with guys of that quality. They show it every day in training. They show it every day in games. Their experience, their ability is such a high level compared to yours as a young player. Like they've seen moments in games that you've never seen. So you
Hmm.
try and pick like what they're doing, and whether there's routine, whether how they pass, whether how they receive. So I think naturally you just have to improve, and I think you start to see the game how they see it in a sense. So you just try and pick the little things from each one of them because they're all different
Yeah,
in their own way, and I think it all makes them the high level, high quality player that they are. So you just try and take each and every small thing that you can from theirs and mix it together with your own qualities and become the best player that you can, learning from them.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And let's kind of talk a little bit about your debut, of course. So can you kind of take us through that day, the emotions and the pride of getting to walk out for the first time with Forge at Hamilton Stadium on opening day?
I think like leading up to the game, I had a feeling that maybe, like it would be a game to start, but honestly, like you never know because I've never played, so I never really know what the feeling would be. So
Yeah,
I was able to kind of have a little bit of confidence leading up to the game. I was kind of a nerves the day before the game, just thinking about like what would happen, like if I would play, if I wouldn't play. But I think getting to the stadium and then like seeing my name starting, it kind of helped me in a sense where like I started to calm down because I think the anxiety of if I was playing or not like kind of left. So now you knew you were playing, and it's just I think the build up towards the game, you get there at like an hour 45 minutes before the game, that's when it starts to get a little bit tense because you just want to start playing.
Yeah.
But I think in the tunnel, getting ready for the game, putting your boots on, putting your jersey on for the first time, it was special because I've been watching Forge games pretty much since the beginning as a Sigma player. So
Yeah.
I've always like imagined what it would be like to play, and so special to walk on the field and make my debut in front of all those people. So
That's amazing. And am I also right in saying that you made your pro debut before you even finished high school?
yeah, so I made my pro debut in April, and I graduated high school end of June. So yeah, I did actually. So I'm
That's
still.
pretty cool. That's so cool. So are you like the coolest kid, like going back to class then after that?
Nah,
No.
well, like my friends and stuff were watching the game, so it was good for them to watch. But like I wasn't really at school too much last year, so I was
Fair.
there when I could be, but at school it was just cool, like when your friends are always gonna be your friends. So if your real friends are gonna give you stick about what happened in the game, because obviously the game wasn't ideal. So for me personally, we still got the win, but
Hmm.
my friends are my friends, so they're always gonna give me a little bit of stick, and that's the best. That's what makes them your real friends. So.
Absolutely. And how did you kind of find that balance of having to go through obviously your education and whatnot and having to train and be a professional?
Uh, it was pretty hard, I think, but like, um, Jelani and Coach Bobby, they understood and they helped me. Like, they were understanding, knowing like I had to finish high school.
Mm,
Like, but I was also at training like every day, unless I had like a serious test or exam that I couldn't miss. I was also at training every day, so they also knew I was also dedicated to making sure like I was here every day because it meant a lot to me to be here.
yeah.
It means a lot to be here, so like. I was here all the time I could be, and I think the balance also is difficult because like sometimes you're going to training and then you have to go to school after. So you might be a little bit tired or you're like, oh, like I'm already playing. I don't really want to be in school, but it's just you know what, you have a goal and you know it's like only a couple more months to finish. So you kind of just have that motivation to finish school. And honestly, when you're playing, I think at the end of the day, you know the next day you're going to go to training and it's also like a privilege what we get to do. So going to school for a couple hours or maybe an hour a day wasn't the
Yeah.
worst thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And as we've already touched upon, you're of course a midfielder, but on opening day, on your debut, you were deployed as a right back. How is it to adjust to that position, especially in such a pretty high intensity and competitive matchup?
I think to be fair, like the whole of our preseason, I kind of like just due to circumstances, I happened to be tried there at right back, and I think
Mhm.
I performed well in our preseason games and our preseason like friendlies and in training. So I kind of had got used to the position of what we wanted to do, and we had like a tactical plan from Coach Bobby,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of instruction. So I just tried to follow the instruction. I think it came natural to me because, to be fair, I've never played a professional game as a right back or a midfielder. So
Yeah.
I went in with the mentality that I was playing as a right back and not like a midfielder playing right back. So
Mhm.
it was just like for me, it was gonna be natural and play to enjoy. And it was just like doing what I was doing in preseason, the games, and doing what I was doing in like training. So that's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too much of a transition, but it was also a bit different getting used to it at first.
Cool. So quite the calm approach to
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, I didn't
Awesome.
want to overthink it too much.
Awesome. Good idea. And then of course, when did you find out you were 100% starting that game?
When I found out I was 100% starting was when I got into the stadium that day to get in before the match. I walked in and we have a board of just our starters, and I seen my name, so I was pretty excited, pretty happy. Let my
Absolutely.
parents know, let my family know. So
That's awesome. I'm sure they were also equally, if
I
not even more excited as
yeah,
well.
maybe, probably.
And what was the process of the coaching staff kind of discussing, as you kind of touched upon, you did it in preseason. So what was the process of them going, I think we're going to try you at right back, and how was that kind of for you?
I think it's not really like a conversation. Like it'll just happen to be you'll end up playing there, and it's
Yeah.
it's if you do well, you do well. If you don't do well, like it wasn't a conversation that me and Coach Bobby had where it's like, oh, you're gonna play right back. It was like the circumstances just had happened to put me there, and like
Mm.
I just did what I could with the position I was in, and I just happened to starting the games that we were having in the friendly. So the opportunity came, and I kind of just tried to take it as best as I could, and I was able to play. But it wasn't much of a like a big conversation or anything like that leading up to me playing there or playing anywhere. It's just, you get put there, you do the best you could.
Awesome, awesome. I've got a couple fun ones here just to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so I've asked this to a few of your teammates now that I have interviewed. What's your pregame go-to song to really get you just hyped up for the match?
It depends on the vibe. Like I
Yeah,
have a couple of songs. Like I'll say like I'm a big Drake guy. So like
yeah.
right recently it's been like What Did I Miss? That's pretty good. And and Lil Baby. I'm mixing Lil Baby, a little bit of Future.
Nice. Yeah.
Digital Dash actually. Digital Dash has been heavy lately. So that's gonna be my one right now.
Awesome, awesome. So a Drake guy.
Yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff. And as the Ballon d'Or was this week, if you could have cast your vote, who would you have picked for the Ballon d'Or this week?
Honestly, Dembele. I think the right player won. So
I totally agree. I totally agree. It's
he-
so cool too to see him go from like Wonder Kid up to Ballon d'Or. It was quite the journey to
yeah,
watch.
exactly. And he had a lot of injuries, a lot of things to overcome. So it's special for him.
Absolutely. What was your first football memory that made you fall in love with the sport?
First football memory. Uh, like there's some like I vaguely remember,
Hmm.
but maybe like I was like really young, but I kind of remember like Chelsea winning the Champions League for the first time
Yeah.
just because I was watching it with my dad. So I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
So like that was kind of like at the time as a little kid, that was like the best thing ever. So it was good as a really young kid, it was good. And I remember like my dad, me being so happy. So yeah, that was probably my first football memory.
Awesome. And honestly, no better
Yeah,
football
exactly.
memory in my opinion. And we'll move into your time with the U18 national team. Uh, was your first international camp, right?
Yeah, my first international camp. Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations. And what was it like to receive the call, however they let you notified you that you would be getting the nod to go to the U18 national team?
It was kind of like anxious because you kind of had a feeling that you might be called up, like you kind of have like an idea,
Hmm.
but you're just waiting for like the deadline to know like all day when you're gonna let find out when you're gonna know. And I think it was like 10:50 something like PM I found
Oh
out.
my God.
So it was like you go through like I knew that I was gonna find out that day, so you go through all day like checking your phone. Like we had training, you come in from training, you're checking your phone. So
Hmm.
it's kind of a process where you're like, well, like, did I get it? Did I not? And then when you get the text, it's like it's like a weight off your shoulders in the sense where
Yeah.
now you're really excited to go play for Canada. So it meant a lot to go there and play for Canada.
Oh, absolutely. And that is pretty cool too. So can you tell us a bit about your camp with the U18 national team? What do you feel you learned while you were in that camp?
I think the camp was fun. Like we were there for I think 9 days and 8, 9 days. We were in Finland, so
Hmm.
we were able to play against some good European competition like Finland and Switzerland.
Hmm.
I think some things you learn is like you play with other guys your age that you've never like other guys from like around the league, for example, the guys like Fotzing,
Yeah.
other young players around Canada that are, like it's good to meet other players that are your age all trying to do the same thing for your country. So it's good moments, it's good memories, and it's good like you make new friends, you build new connections with people there. I think other things that you learn is just like what it means to play for Canada. Like it's a different sense of pride because you're playing for your country, you're playing for something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
So it's honestly such a special feeling to be there, and we just had like it was just fun just being with the boys, having training every day. Obviously, we didn't get the results that we wanted to,
Mhm.
but we know that it's our first camp. We have qualifiers coming up soon, and there's going to be a couple other camps. So there's gonna be things that we're gonna fix, and we're gonna be back and do better for our next coming camps.
Awesome, awesome. And you kind of touched on it a little bit. So what was it like being in the U18 camp, being around players who are all pretty much your age, 18, 17, what have you? What was it kind of like to get to be in around that? All these players at the start of their career, super hungry to make an impression. Was that kind of like a different vibe compared to being at the Club of Forge?
I think it's a different vibe because it's just a younger, like everyone's younger, right? So like it's kind of a more youthful environment, like naturally. So there's like it's just more like kind of free in a sense where like you're gonna do like you're just more like different kind of jokes, just different type of conversations, you know.
Yeah.
And also like it's like you're still also you're not talking to everyone as much because you're still getting to know people. It's only like 9 days, so it's like so much you can know somebody in 9 days, but it's just a bit different in a sense where you're seeing yourself each other every day for like breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's kind of like, for example, I could compare it to like a preseason camp that we would have here at
Yeah.
Fort. So it's kind of like you're always together, you have your roommates, things like that. So it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like playing for Canada. I enjoyed just being on the field. Being able to score was pretty special, so I enjoyed that I think the most. That was my highlight of the trip. But yeah, it's just now I'm looking forward to when our next call is, our next camp, and it's to being back into the group and back representing Canada.
Awesome. No stranger to scoring in Europe, it sounds like, as well. Done it with Sigma, done with the U18s as well.
Have to do a little bit more. Hopefully, I can get one this year for Forge.
Hey, there's still time. I I got a feeling maybe it might happen. It might happen.
So,
And of course, no stranger to playing in Europe. What was it like getting to play against nations like Finland and Switzerland, who have in years gone by produced some like very great high level talent?
it was a good experience, good exposure because we're able to see like what it is now in Europe, the
Mhm.
players, the style of player that like of the teams that we're coming against. It's a different style because they both play a little bit different, like maybe more possession, maybe more counter, like things like that. So there's a variety of styles of play, but there's also they're very good players, like how I think our team had very good players. So
Mhm.
I think they also just played together. They've played over like 10, 15 matches together as a group, and that was our first two. So
Yeah,
us coming together for the first time, I think obviously we had some things to tweak, but those are going to be fixed hopefully in our next camp. So we know that for sure. But the experience is going to build as a group, and we're going to make sure we could do our best to do well in qualifiers and hopefully reach E20 camp World
awesome,
Cup with Canada.
awesome, awesome. And what have you been able to take from all of your Forge Sigma U18s minutes to really kind of help develop your game further?
I think it's using all the experience that I've gained, whether it's good, whether it's bad, and try and take it on to the next day, the next training, the next match, because it's all you can do is learn from the experiences and never getting too high and never getting too low, because there's going to be days where you may have a good training or a good game and you think like, okay, like, yeah, I did this, but I didn't make it, right? So
Mhm.
it's about finding a consistency, about finding a balance, and that's what I'm trying to take from all these experiences as learning as much as I can and just taking all these experiences, enjoying it also because you just don't want to have these experiences and like kind of like think about always the next. You kind of have to live in the moment. I think it's
Mhm.
important to do that as well. So I'm just trying to live in the moment and just take everything as it comes and just keep pushing every day to make another step and
Awesome.
break into the team and just keep having an impact at Forge.
Awesome. Awesome. And Forge, of course, have enjoyed quite the season so far. What for you has been your standout moment, whether it's team-wise or individually?
I think team wise, I think one game like I really remember, I think was our game versus Montreal. I think like I didn't play in that game, but I think like warming up, just being on the side, like the side that Borges and Beck scored those goals were like I think those were pretty special goals. Like it was just like I don't know how to explain it. It was like it was crazy. You just had to be there. Like it was just special to go there, win a game. I think it's like the first time I've been like at another MLS away ground and we've been able to just get a big win like that. So honestly, it was really special. And I think for me individually, it's just getting on the field. All the times I've been able to be blessed to get on the field,
Yeah.
getting more minutes and getting more minutes as a pro because it means a lot to just play and just getting all the experience that I can. So that's been all the moments I've been on the field
Mhm.
have been my favorite moments.
Awesome.
Like,
Awesome.
even though like some we lost, I think against Valor,
Mhm.
like obviously that's not the result we wanted, but it was just getting back in the team. It just
Yeah.
getting that experience, learning
Yeah.
from that, just taking it to the next game.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, no, it like that Montreal game was like those two goal, as you said, those two goals from Becker and Borges were just phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
they were so good. And of course, getting for yourself individually, getting to be on the pitch, and getting to really get those minutes and rack them up as a pro, I think are pretty invaluable.
yeah.
Awesome. And we're, of course, coming up on the end of the season, which means playoffs are right around the corner. Forge has already clinched their spot. So how excited are you to kind of get involved with the postseason with Forge?
Very excited. I'm just hoping that we wrap up the season like well. We have four more games to clinch the regular season title, so I think that's our first obstacle.
Hmm.
So we're just thinking about ahead of us, especially this weekend. We can't think too far ahead. We have
Hmm.
Pacific this weekend. So it's going game by game until we get to the end of the season when hopefully we're lifting our regular season trophy and ideally hosting a final here at Tim Hortons Field because we know what's happened last time we've held a final here.
Hmm.
So hopefully we have another opportunity to host a final at Tim Hortons Field and I'm gonna do my best, hopefully, to play up any part that I can in that any games that we have from now till the end of the season, and hopefully to the final. That's gonna hopefully be here at Tim Hortons Field. So I'm just gonna do my best, and honestly, I'm excited. It's kind of my first
Yeah.
run as a first teamer in this environment, and with an experience like this, pushing for a title. So I'm just looking forward to each day and each game that we have in the run.
Awesome, awesome. And you kind of touched on it a little bit. So how do you kind of keep focused on one game at a time while still knowing that playoffs are right around the corner?
I think it's easier in a sense from like our group because we know that like there is a trophy before the playoffs.
Hmm.
So you also want to win that trophy and do the double because I don't think any team's done the double yet. So it's another thing that this club we know that we want to achieve. So it'd be special for me to do it in my first year, but for the
Yeah.
club to do it as a whole because every trophy we've won. So it's going to be another goal now
Yeah.
is to do the double. So it would be special. So we know that at first we have these games. So Pacific is one game closer to
Hmm.
winning that title. Then hopefully Vancouver,
Hmm.
Cavs, Cavalry, and then York. So these are all games closer to winning that regular season title, which is our first step in doing the double. So you have to go by
Hmm.
game by game to achieve that. So that's how we're trying to approach it, and that's how we will approach it from now.
Awesome, awesome. And one final question for you. Um, what is something that you would like the Forge faithful to know about yourself?
Uh, yeah, I'm just a kid. I'm just here enjoying myself every day, trying to learn the most I can from all the coaches, from all my teammates, and just trying to get better each and every day. And I think I'm just someone that just always wants to play and someone that's gonna every time I'm playing for Forge for Hamilton's gonna do my best to work hard for the fans, work hard for the city, work hard for the team, work hard for my teammates, and work hard for my coaches. So I'm just a kid trying to do the best I can and then enjoy each and every day and get better and just win.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And so that will bring us an end to this interview. So, Zane, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so
I
much.
do seriously appreciate it. And I want to wish you good luck and all the best with the rest of the season. I'm, of course, Hamilton based, so I will be rooting for you and for just success going forward. And yeah, just thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right. that does wrap up our interview with Forge's Zayne Bruno. Would like to thank, of course, Zayne for putting the time aside to do that with me, and would like to thank Forge for allowing me to do the interview. I really enjoy doing these. He's now the 6th guest that I have had the privilege of having on this podcast, and hopefully he will not be the last. If you have not listened to any of the previous interviews, there was a playlist. If you're listening to this on YouTube, there's a playlist of all player interviews I have done. If you're listening to this on other platforms, there's sadly no easy way to find them. You would have to search for them. But yes, definitely worth the listen if you've never listened before. And yeah, once again, thank you so much to Zayne for doing that. I wish him nothing but the best going into the final few games of the season. And that does bring us to an end of this edition of the Maple Footy Podcast. So thank you so much for listening. Can Champ is coming up very soon. Well, Can Champ Final is Wednesday of this week as we're recording this little bit. So we'll be doing a debrief on the final between the two Vancouver teams. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, the international break is coming up where Canada will be playing a couple of matches, Venezuela and... oh my gosh, I'm going to the game in Montreal. Australia, had to think of that. I will be doing debriefs on those as well. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Hoping, fingers crossed, for more interviews as well. Trying to manifest it, guys. But yes, thank you so much for listening. If this was your first time, I do hope you enjoyed it. And maybe I've done enough to make you want to listen to the other interviews. But yeah, thank you so much. And until next time, cheers, everyone.
And that was your Maple Footy Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Check my socials for any and all future updates. Remember to support Canadian football, be kind, and until next time, live, laugh, little.